Hello everybody. I am here in the kitchen. I'm not cooking. What I'm doing is I'm starting plans for the garden. Even though we're in the middle of winter, this is the time that we start thinking about the spring garden. So what I have here is a bag of Promix. Promix is a pretty popular growing medium. It's used by a lot of commercial greenhouse growers, and I've been using it for years and I really like it. I like the way my plant's growing it. So Walmart started carrying this about 2 years ago. So it's compressed, and when you wet it, it expands. So you get a lot from it. You get a lot of trays if you're doing a lot of planting. Um, Let me take this down since I've shown that. So what I like to do is put a couple drops of dishwashing soap and wet it. The reason I do that is the soap works as a surfactant. It allows all the areas of the peat moss to get wet so that when you're growing your seedlings, you don't have dry spots in some areas and soggy soil in other areas. You typically won't get nice healthy plants that way. So this is what it looks like. It's very light and fluffy. And if you can't find Promix in your area, just look for a good starting mix. Sometimes it'll say seed starting mix when you go to the hardware store or Walmart to get your growing medium. Now, the traditional way of starting your seedlings is to fill the tray and you'll put 1 to 2 seeds in each cell. I've been doing it that way for years. And what I didn't like about that method is that no seed packet is going to give you 100% germination. So you're going to have, or I typically had, empty cells where nothing was growing, and I didn't like the look of the tray. So I would say 2 years ago, I was watching Charles Dowding, and he used this method called the plucking out method. So what you do is you put your peat moss, your growing media in a cell pack, and you label it because we're going to put 6 different types of plants in here. Right here I have bok choy. So you just take about a half a teaspoon or however many plants you want to grow in your garden. You put it all in one cell. And as they grow up for you, like this broccoli I have here, you're just going to have all of them grow together. And then you separate them. Be gentle so that you don't break all of that root. You see how nice and healthy that root system is? You pluck it out and you put it in your tray. That way, your tray doesn't have empty cells with nothing growing in it. Now I'm going to show you what to look for. Let me see if I could find one that would show up on camera. They're really tiny. Let me use the bok choy to show you. Okay. Now you look at the seedling. Let me separate it. Of the bok choy, we have 3 leaves. These 2 leaves are the first leaves that open when your seed breaks soil. These are considered or called the cotyledon seal. Cotyledon leaf. They're not a true leaf. Your true leaf is going to be the next and the next leaf that comes after that. So you wait until you see a true leaf, which is this in the middle. Once you see a true leaf, it means that this has enough root system where you can do the plucking out method. You pluck it out and start potting them up in your tray. Once you have them in your tray, you're going to water your cell and make sure that you have them on a regular feeding schedule. Right now I am using Fox Farm liquid feed, which I think is a 4-4-5-4. I could be wrong, I don't remember exactly, but it's around that ratio. So you don't have to use Fox Farm. Just go to the store or you could check online for a good liquid fertilizer that you can use. Now, when you get your liquid fertilizer and you look on the back, if it doesn't have a ratio of how much of that fertilizer to use for seedlings, you'll need to divide that by 3 or at least by half, and that is the amount you will use to water your seedlings. These are not mature plants, so as they're growing, if you give them too much food, you're going to burn the plants. You can actually kill your plants with too much fertilizer, especially at this stage. So let's say I'm using a liquid feed and it says use a tablespoon of this feed per gallon of water. What I'll do is I'll use a teaspoon, which is a third of that ratio. I'll use a third to a gallon of water and I'll water my plants once a week. That is all they need to grow for you in a cell tray for a 4-week period. Now, these over here are trays that I did a couple minutes ago or an hour ago. Over here we have a variety of lettuce. Each of these trays holds 72 plants. And we have lettuce here, and then we have lettuce here. We have some endive here and some vitamin green. Now, this hopefully is what your plant should look like in 4 weeks. They'll look like something you'll see at Lowe's or Home Depot. They should be nice and brilliant in color and nice and healthy. Those are some purple bok choy. Another good reason for starting your own plants is that you have the opportunity to grow many varieties. When you go to the store, they have one type of cabbage, maybe two. 2 types of kale or 1 type of this. Typically, they're selling plants that commercially have been known to just be hardy, handle the process of sitting on the shelf, and then you buy it and you take it home. The plants that you start from seed, they're gonna taste much different than the plants you get at the store. Also, we grow heirloom varieties of plants, and you're rarely going to get heirloom. Maybe you'll get some heirloom tomato once in a while or heirloom kale, but it's hard to get heirloom plants at the store. And this is a much cheaper method because here I have maybe 150 or more lettuce. If I were to go to the store and buy that, I would buy a 6-pack of lettuce for $3.99. So that's not quite cost effective for the size garden that we need. So we've gone through the feeding. Let me talk about lighting a little bit. Your plants need adequate light to get nice and healthy, like that purple bok choy over there. Now, I've been farming for a number of years, but I didn't always have grow lights. So what I would do, I would use the brightest window in our house. Just look and see where the sun is really streaming in and put your plants there, elevate them, put them on something where they're right by the window and they can get that sunlight coming in. Now, if your plant starts stretching a lot for you, like they're leaning like they want to go out the window, it's because it's not enough light. So try shifting them in different areas in your home. You can also check online. You don't have to get big grow lights. There are bulbs that is just one bulb is a grow light. You could do something like that and put your tray underneath it. But as long as they have a good feeding regimen and adequate light, and you're watering sufficiently, don't overwater. Allow your plants to dry out. Allow the mix to dry out before you water again. Once it dries out, then it's time for you to give them some more water. Now, the top of your medium is going to get really dry before the bottom. So don't just go by the top, like you see the top dry and you water again. You can overwater your plants, and too much water will kill your seedlings at this stage. So that is it. I hope I covered enough of the basics of seed starting to get you going. It's exciting. I love growing plants. Every time a seed bursts the soil and the plant comes up, it's just exciting to me to have them germinating. And then we go to this method. It is a process to get all of this ready and get the garden going, but it is quite enjoyable. It's an exciting time. So happy gardening to you all. God bless, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Bye-bye.